I saw Joker 2, Folio à Deux, and we're talking the good, the bad, and the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go to theaters and watch it. I'll give you a minute to click out of here. And if you're wondering why I'm showing you this Joker instead of Joaquin's Joker, well, we'll talk about that. You know, when I saw that the reviews for this movie were skewing mixed to negative, I really was hoping. We like to try to keep it positive here on GeeKlare. I was really hoping that I could come into this review with a different approach, that I could come out of the movie with a different tact, sort of a different take, hopefully more positive take on the movie. But I can't. I just can't, dude. All right. We'll talk about the positives first, and then we'll get into it. The visuals. The sizzle is there for this movie. The steak, well, but the sizzle is there. The cinematography, the choreography, the lighting, some of the tracking shots. Arkham is dark and grungy, contrasted beautifully against the Technicolor musical numbers. I mean, this looks like an expensive movie, and it probably was, and I don't know if it'll make its money back at the rate this is going, but it looks like a good movie. Like I said, the sizzle's there, the steak's questionable. Other positives, Gaga and Phoenix do a good job with the musical numbers. I mean, of course they do. They're classically trained, they're good at what they do. They did a good job. However, negative side, half the songs don't really need to be there, in my opinion. A good musical is supposed to develop the characters and or further the plot through the songs, and some of the songs do that in this one, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them just continue a point that was already made verbally, or they just don't need to be there. I wasn't too crazy about that. I wasn't crazy about the musical aspect in the first place, but I do respect director Todd Phillips for not just doing the same thing over again, man. He did not just do the same thing over again with this movie. There was a moment in this movie where I thought they were going to just lazily copy the first movie again, like a lot of sequels do, but add music, and that was going to be the different thing. No. Even if you were to edit the musical numbers out of this, they still do not just do the same movie again. He really swung for the fences, and I respect that. And sometimes you swing for the fences, and, well, you strike out. And that seems to be what happened with this movie. There is some subversion of expectations, which can be good, but not in this case. Joker was already not the traditional Joker. Harley in this movie, or Lee as she goes by here, we thought they were completely divorcing from the original animated series canon with her, but positive, she does have a psychological background. There is some of that origin in there, so they don't totally shy away from it, but still way less interesting than if she would have been his doctor who he drove mad. That is some epic stuff, and they really should have just stuck with that. I do also like the twist on the dual identity love interest that they put in here. Usually it's always, would she really love me if she knew I was Superman or Spider Man or what have you? And oftentimes the heroine always comes around. Yeah, they still love them even with the mask off. But in this case, Lee loves Joker, not Arthur Fleck. She just thought, like the rest of us thought, this guy's kind of a loser. And I was glad that she took that approach. I did not see that coming. I was happy about that. The courtroom drama side of it, that had some good scenes. I liked the actor who played Harvey Dent. I kind of wanted more of him. I thought that was good. And there were so many moments in this movie on the negative side, including the courtroom scene, though, where I thought, oh, this is where Joaquin's gonna go full Joker, right? He's gonna evolve into the Joker, or at least closer to the Joker we all know and love, right? Nope. This movie makes him go back to Arthur, and I thought there was a plot reason for that. I thought, like I said, that's when they were gonna, and it made sense why he went back to Arthur. He's in Arkham now. He's in therapy now. He's learning to not be the Joker, and I thought that that would make it all the more powerful when he went back and went even harder into being the Joker, and well, they kind of don't do that. In the end, there is a random explosion in the courtroom. Joker slash Arthur, he escapes, and he's trying to. Lee breaks up with him. He's trying to get away. He gets caught again because he's a total loser in this movie. And he goes back to jail, and in a twist that a Redditor predicted years ago, when this sequel was first announced. Wait for it, I'm spoiling the ending. Get out of here. Arthur dies. Arthur dies in jail at the hands of some other guy who we've seen throughout the movie, but we don't know who he is. We don't know their history. They're not like prominently featured. They're just there if you're looking for them, like in the background and stuff like that. He gets unalived by that person, and then that person carves the Glasgow smile into their face, and it turns out that they are one of the many people who worship this version of Arthur, this version of Joker. We saw in the first movie how he inspired people. This is one of the people who looked up to him, and it turns out that person is going to carry on the mantle of the Joker. Didn't like that approach. You know, Joker is not a slasher villain in a mask, and now someone's going to pick up the mantle. He's not Roy Burns in Friday 5, you know. Didn't like that. Why did we follow this guy for 2 movies called The Joker, both of which had Joker in the title, by the way? Why did we follow him for 2 movies if he's not the guy? That was a waste of our time. It undermines the first movie, much like how Michael Keaton's Batman dying in The Flash kind of hurts those movies because, oh, I love this character. What happens to him next? Oh, they die. That's just it. That's how their story ends. It's not happy at all. They just die one day. Do they at least like do cool stuff, take somebody with them? No, that's just it. They're done. Yeah, didn't like that. If you're a fan of the first movie, you probably won't like this movie, which is the worst thing you can say about a sequel, right? And the people who hated the first movie are going to hate this one even more. So I cannot recommend it. 4 out of 10. Like I said, there's a few bright spots in there. I do think this thing will gain a cult following. Those who like it will probably really like it for the subversion of expectations. But I don't think I'll be rewatching this one anytime soon. So come back to us very soon and take another bite of the GeeKlare.